Great stuff. So you guys can see this strategy now. This is Mr. Ride My Way strategy. I've been developing this strategy for a little while now. Um, and before we delve into it, we just go over a few things. Okay, now, like many of you are aware, the trend is your friend. Now, if you can learn how to trade with the trend, guys, you will start making some serious money in this industry. So that's the key. Always trade with the trend. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. And don't worry, I'm going to send you guys the email of this, strategy template. And before we go into the charts, I'm going to, discuss a few notes with you. All right. So these are the three things we're going to use on this call. Now, the first thing we're going to use is the moving average. Now, don't worry, I'm going to set this up for you all to see. But this is what we're going to use, the moving average. Now, what is the moving average? It's very simple. The moving average enables us to see where the direction of the trend is going. If it's an uptrend, you can clearly see that we'll be moving up. Similar with a downtrend, the moving average will enable us to see whether it's a downtrend or not. Okay. Put your phone on mute for me. Thank you. All right. Similar, we're going to use something called the relative strength index. Now, I've told many of you in the launch document, you are told to look at the RSI and the stochastic. These are things that you're told to do. Okay, everyone, put your phone on mute, please. This is being recorded. Okay, thank you. So, the RSI and stochastic, if you're looking at the launch documents, these things are the launch documents. Buy low, sell high. So these are the key principles of trading: buy low, sell high, and the trend is your friend. If you can learn these key principles, you're going to be laughing when it comes to trading. Now, there's certain rules to this strategy, and similarly, stochastic is very similar to RSI. You buy low, you sell high. Very similar concept. Okay, rules of the strategy. All right. Now, we want to know if we're in a buyers or sellers market. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how to use this strategy. But when the blue line is above the red line, okay, we know we're in a buyer's market. When the red line is above the blue line, we're going to be able to tell and identify that we're in a seller's market. Okay, for more confirmations, this game is all about confirmations. When candles are above both lines, we will know that we're in a strong buyer's market. And when candles are beneath both lines, we can tell we're in a strong seller's market. We're looking for crosses in the strategy as well to give us extra confirmation. If the blue line crosses upwards in the upwards direction, we know that at that cross we're going to gain a mass amount of momentum, moving in an upward direction. Similarly, red line crosses downwards, we're going to see a mass movement in a downward spiral for a downtrend. Okay, we want to also look for curves in this strategy as well. So I'm going to go into a little bit of depth, and there are some more advanced notes, but I'm not going to go into too much detail at this point. Okay, but all you need to know is, this simple thing. We're using this strategy to enable us to see whether we're in a buyers and sellers market. Why is this important? Because the trend is your friend. Why do we use the stochastic on RSI? Because, that enables us to, see whether we're going to buy low or sell high. So I'm going to actually open this up now. Tell me if you can see charts on the screen. Put 777 for me, please. Great stuff. So you can see it. All right, great stuff. All right. So what I'm going to do is, if that's your screen, can you please take that line off? Thank you. All right, great stuff. Now what I'm going to start off with doing, guys, is setting up the MT4. Now, finally, this is going to be the final result of what we're looking for. This is what we're aiming for. Okay, we're aiming to set up our chart like this. These are the moving average. The red line and the blue line will signify the moving average. We have the stochastic at the bottom, and we have the RSI. Okay, we're going to come into a bit more detail of these points in a moment, but I'm just showing you the general setup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new chart so we can have a look, okay, at what we need to look for. So I'm going to open up a new window. Chart. Okay, let's leave. Okay, let's leave that for now. All right, guys. So what you want to do? You want to set up your. I usually use MT4. This is MT5. Okay, let's leave this for now then. Okay, so what we're looking for, okay, is if we go back to our notes now, guys, and what we said, the red line above the blue line would signify that we're in a seller's market. Now, before we go into that, we need to understand how to set up our MT4. Okay, just bear with me a second. Okay, we're going to open up a new chart now. Guys, so what we're going to do, first of all, we want to set up our chart, okay? And if you can remember, we're going to use the moving average, we're going to use the stochastic, and we're going to use the RSI. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this on your smartphone as well in a little moment. So simply, what we're going to do is we are going to set up our charts. Now, if you guys can see, I'm going to show you guys as well how to download the MT4 platform, which is a very important tool. Why? Because TradingView is a very good tool, guys. However, with TradingView, you cannot open more than 3 indicators at a time. So we're going to go to charts. Okay, I'm going to go to properties. So chart properties, and now we can see the different colors. Now we want to, make this a black and white scheme. Okay, it's going to make things much easier for us to see. When we usually look at background white, that's fine. Foreground black, grid silver, that's fine. Bar up now, bar up and bar down, that's fine to keep it black. Now bull candle, we usually associate bull candle with a green candle, so we're going to make it green. I actually like the color lime green, so I'm going to use lime green. All right, bear candle, we usually look at it as signifying in a red status. Okay, so that's what I like, and we'll leave it as that. And everything else, line chart black, volumes green, these things are fine. So we can just click OK, and now we've got our background. Yeah. Now, see, we got a naked chart with candlesticks. You can actually change the. Now it's Euro USD. We can literally just drag these pairs onto this screen, and it will change accordingly. Okay. Now the first thing we're going to look at is setting up our stochastic. Our RSI. Sorry. Okay, indicators. Okay, trend. Remember, we're going to start moving average, which is a trend indicator on the moving average. We're going to click on this, and guys, this call is recorded, so don't worry too much if you're not getting everything. Now, period, we're going to keep that at 50 period. We're going to have it in the red, and it's going to signify our moving average for the red candle, and that's fine. We've got our red line there. Now we need to add one more line. We're going to go to insert indicate, same thing again, trend, and we're going to look for moving average again. This time around, I'm going to make the period 20, and we want to make this blue line. We look for blue line now. You can click OK, and there we are. Now, guys, going back to our notes now, I'm actually going to go up to our notes quickly so you guys can see, the importance of what we have. Now, if we look here, it says moving average, blue line, 20 period. We did that. Moving average, set it up. The second line, period 50, is going to be a red line. So we have that in our setting at the moment. And the rules of this point is the blue line above the red line, we're in the buyer's market. The red line above the blue line, we're in a seller's market. Now let's go back and see if we're in a buyer's or seller's market. Now what we can see right now is that we're in a seller's market. Why are we in a seller's market? Because the red line is above the blue line. Okay, that's how we can tell that we are in a seller's market. Sorry. Now for extra confirmation, we can. This is a bit more advanced. But what I'm going to do is I'm just literally going to draw a trend line so you guys can see why we are in a seller's market. Okay. I can't really. It's not the perfect trend, but it just gives us an inclination that we are on a downward spiral. So we're in a downward spiral. I'll connect this point, better. It's not going to be perfect, guys, because of the tool we're using. But we can clearly see we're in a seller's market. Yeah, why is that as well? Because a seller's market consists of lower lows, lower highs, lower lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay, that's how you can dictate we're in a seller's market. So the confirmation you can literally see again, going over it again, red line, seller's market, and obviously the blue ones above the red line will be in a buyer's market. So we can tell that in this circumstance. Now what we need to do is we need to add our stochastic and RSI now. Now let's look at what our notes tell us to do. Okay, RSI, 30 or below, think about buying. 70 or above, think about selling. Stochastic, 20 or below, think about buying. 80 or above, think about selling. Let's go back to our chart. We're going to look for indicators again. The first one we're going to set up is the RSI. That's going to be in oscillators. You can see the RSI is called the Relative Strength Index. Period 30 or below, buy. 70 or above, sell. Is clearly there. You don't really need to set anything else up. Okay, we're going to click OK. Now we have our RSI on the screen. Okay, and it's very simple, guys. Very, very simple. If we can see this line down here, you can see the 30 line here, and we can see 70 line here. Okay, now if we click here, we can see that the value currently is 43. It's not actually anywhere near the point where we want to buy. But if we look here, you see the RSI was at 28. Now it says 28. 30 or below. Think about buying. I draw a vertical line. You can clearly see that our RSI was very low, and at that point there, we started to see a curve upwards, which we'll come into later. And at that point there, we would have executed our trade. Let me just draw that in here for you. We would have executed around here, where this green candle came in, because you're going to see a green candle forming, and we would have been able to ride 69 pips. Okay, now, guys, this is just a little example. We'll come into these things in a little moment in more detail. The final thing we want to set up is our stochastic. Yeah, again, 80 or above, think about selling. 20 or below, think about buying. Excellent stuff. Now we have our chart set up, guys. Okay, now we have our chart set up, which is perfect at this moment in time. Okay, now we can start looking at different setups now and how we're actually going to use this strategy. Now you can see that the chart is set up. What I would suggest as well is that you guys go to Google. I'm going to actually show you as well how you can download MetaTrader for yourselves. If I can go here, Safari. Okay, MT4XM. This is the one I use, XM, and you'll be able to have a look. Okay, at what we use now. You can either download MT4 or MT5. You go to download. This one is MT4 again, MT5, sorry, and you just download it. And now you can use this to your use. Okay, that's all you have to do. Regarding the strategy. Now let's go back to our notes. I'm going to read over it again so we can now apply what we have learned. Now what we have done so far, guys, is we've set it up. Okay, we've set up our moving average. Why do we want to know the moving average? Because the trend is our friend. We're going to trade with the trend. RSI, 30 or below, think about buying. 70 or above, think about selling. Okay, we're going to remember this, guys. And stochastics, 20 or below, think about buying. 80 or above, think about selling. These two actually work hand in hand. The more confirmations we have, the better we have for a higher probability trade. Rules of the strategy. Remember, guys, blue line above the red line, we're in a buyer's market. Red line above the blue line, we are in a seller's market. First confirmation. Second confirmation is we want to tell that we're in a strong buyer's market. Okay, candles are above both lines. Okay, for strong buyer's market. Candles beneath both lines, we're in a strong seller's market. Okay, what I'm going to add as well is, if we have, time frames lead to particular market, we can somebody everyone go move all time frames lead to particular market. We know that is strong buyers or sellers market. Okay, so that's another confirmation, guys. If you're on it, I'm going to mute everyone again. Okay. All right. For other confirmations, crosses in the market can lead to mass momentum, either a strong impulse move up or a strong impulse move down. And obviously, the final thing we want to do is we want to wait for the RSI stock to start curving upwards or in the downwards direction to confirm our buy or sell confirmation. And finally, we want to see it if we're in, buying, we want to see a few green candles in that direction. And the seller's market, we want to see a few red candles going in that direction to give us a higher probability of success. Now let's go back to our chart. Okay, great stuff. Now we're going to apply this to the setting we have now. Now we're not going to force opportunities. We only want to be patient. Okay, this is what we want to do. Now I'm going to back test to see if we can find any areas where we have high probability setups. Okay, now if you see in this region here, you can see a lot of consolidation. However, before this consolidation period, we can see that we had a high probability setup. The RSI, remember 70 or above, think about selling. Here we can see the RSI hit 71. The stochastic in this region hit 92. Now 92 is above 80 and 71 is above 70. So we can see here that the RSI and stochastic told us that we should start to think about selling. Now it doesn't mean sell straight away, but it says start to think about the sell. Now in this time period here, the blue line was above the red line, signifying that we was in a buyer's market. Okay. Now obviously we prefer to sell in a seller's market and buy in a buyer's market. Okay. However, we started to see a curve downwards. When we started to see that curve downwards, which was in this region here, because in the downward direction, we could start thinking about selling. Now, in that point there, just in a short space of time, we could have caught 117 pips. Okay, now, what we want to do with this strategy is we want to look at longer term setups. In the longer term, we could have, if we held that position, we could be looking at 270 pips, okay, just from being patient, okay. So that's that setup. We used RSI and stochastic. In this point here, I'm going to give you guys another example of our confirmations. At this point here, we had a cross in the market. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. We had a cross in the market. Now, when we have a cross in the market, we usually have a down, a strong impulse move. Okay, impulse move is just a strong move. Okay, you can see in this point here, exactly at this point we had that. Now, before that we had consolidation. Now, we could have got in here, but we wasn't, 100% sure of the market direction because we was in a buyer's market. However, you can still trade off retracements. However, for more confirmation with this strategy, you want to sell in the seller's market and buy in the buyer's market. Now, at this point here, we would have thought about the sell opportunity. However, at this point here, we would have seen that mass momentous move downwards because of the cross. Okay, and in that cross, we can see that we would have made around, let's say here, around 200 pips. It's a lot of money, guys. 200 pips on 10p, you're looking at £200. Imagine making that in a day. If you had a triple trade, you're looking at £600. Okay, trading off a pound, or let's say even 50p in that setting, 0.50. You would be looking at £1,000. Okay, just from one trade. So you guys can use this strategy to make a lot of money. And in this point here, we can see that candles are beneath both lines, and the red line is above the blue line, showing a strong seller's market. Okay, let me take this off and let's look back test even further to see, have a look at this strategy further. Now, even in this point here, we can see a strong seller's market, very, very strong seller's market. Look at this cross here. When we have this cross in the market, again, looking at the cross in the market, the stochastic was at 93, guys. That's well above the 80 mark. Think about selling. Curve downwards. Yeah, looking at stupid money. Stupid money. Oh, I wanted to hit. Sorry, guys. Let me go back. Yeah, sorry, it was here. Let me draw that back again. Crossing the market, like I said, you'll be looking at, that's around 262 pips, guys. It's a lot of money. This is where it was. Sorry, this is the one we were looking at. RSI was at the 71 mark, and we had the stochastic at this 92 mark. Sorry, I was back testing as well. Let me hold the mouse here. You can see the curve downwards, and we can see the cross in the market. Okay, and we had a large downward spiral as well. So you guys can use a strategy, when looking at things in the market, when looking at setups in the market. Let's use another example on GBP USD. Okay, if we look at this setup here, let's look at GBP AUD. You can see a strong seller's market, guys. Why is it seller's market? The red line is above the blue line. Okay, red line above the blue line, strong seller's market. Okay, and we can back test here. We can even have a look at points in the market where we could have got involved with the market. Now here, the RSI is only at 50, so it's not the best confirmation. However, you could still, trade if we see that the stochastic is of a higher value, but it's only at 78, so we would prefer it to be above that level. However, you can still make money there, guys, but you want to wait for high confirmations. So I can see here that the stochastic was at 80. Let's draw a line because I understand. Let's go back. Sorry, guys. Okay, here because it's not enabling me to go back for some weird reason. But we'll just look from where we are now. Okay, so we can see here. Let's say we could have gotten here, in this seller's market position. However, let's say we wanted to wait for a pullback, we could get in again. Let's see whether the stochastic was near around the 80 mark. We could start think about selling there. So draw it here. Yeah, so the RSI was around 58 mark, so that was not the strongest confirmation. However, you could still get in because the stochastic is showing us, strong confirmations as well. So you want all three to agree. The most important thing is, are we in a seller's market? If we're in a seller's market, we know for sure we're likely to have the best possibility of making good money. Now, you wouldn't want to get in here, even though it's a seller's market. You wouldn't want to get in here. You always want to get in at the top. Okay, and that's why this RSI and stochastic is important to know when to get in at either high or low levels. Okay, so let's say we got in at this point here. We could have rode, 150 pips. Just by being patient. This is all about being patient, guys. That's the most important thing. Let's use another pair. Okay, let's use USD JPY. Okay, great. Now, if we look at this strategy, we can see that we're in a strong seller's market. Okay, the stochastic was at 79 before. It was at the 90 mark. Strong confirmation, guys. Okay, the RSI at that point as well So the 65 mark, getting near the 70 mark, it doesn't mean get in straight away. It just means start thinking about selling. Okay. Now we can see that there was a cross in the market. We had a little upward spiral. However, when the RSI and stochastic start to curve down now, that is when you want to get in. Okay, now look at this curve down. When it starts to curve down, we would have entered on this candle here because we've seen a couple red candles. Okay, we saw that it was on a little upward spiral. However, you know, when we had this cross in the market, okay, which came after our confirmation, we saw a couple red candles to give us confirmation. Now, if you guys got in there, and this, this cross is extra confirmation. Okay, you know, that is 1,000, so 171 pips, guys. You know, you put 0.10 loss on that, you know, times it by 2, you're looking at 350 something pounds. Okay, you know, you can make some decent money. Some of you here like to use higher lots like 0.20, 0.50. Imagine the killing you could have made off that trade. Let's have another example. Let's look at another trade setup. Okay. Look at another trade setup. Let's use Euro NZD. Perfect. Okay, now we can see here, guys, the stochastic here is at 90, guys. That's amazing. Crazy confirmation. RSI is quite high as well. At the 50, it's not too high. It's at the 58 mark, which isn't the greatest confirmation. However, you can still use it. You know, at this point here, we saw crossing the market as well, which shows that we're potentially going into a nice downward spiral. We had a nice down spiral here. You can see here again, another cross. It looks like it's going to happen. But the most important confirmation is the red line above the blue line, showing that we're in a seller's market. You know, if we got in where we could have got in around this region here, okay, you know, we could have looked at, you know, 85 pips, and that's just the start of that. I do believe that this, you know, could fly down, you know, much more. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to look at different time frames now, so you guys can understand the importance of looking at different time frames. The reason why it's important to look at different time frames is because you know, we want to have a look at the larger time frame to see what's going on the daily. If we know what's going on the daily chart, you know, we can you know, see what's going to happen on smaller time frames. Bear with me a second. Like I said, guys, before, I am using MT5. I'm usually using MT4. So time frames, let's look at the daily. Okay, let's look at the daily chart. Okay, now this is where we're going to get more technical, guys. So this is the most important part now. So remember, let's go recap. Blue line above the red line, buyer's market. Red line above the blue line, seller's market. First confirmation. Okay. Second confirmation is the RSI stochastic. Is the RSI high? Is the stochastics high? You know, buy low, sell high. You want to buy a house when it's low. You want to sell it when it's high. Stochastics, 80 or above, sell. 20 or below, buy. And if we're looking at the RSI, 70 or above, sell. 30 or below, buy. Okay. Now we're going to have a look here. Okay, to have a look at, you know, what we could have done. Now this is the daily chart, guys. Okay. Now, you know, looking at higher time frames is very, very important. Why is it important? Because if we look at the higher time frames, we can see what's happening on the smaller time frame. You see, somebody could come in and feel that Euro NZD on the long term is, they may look at the 1 hour and see that there's a downtrend. I mean, let's say a retracement. They may see, oh, 270 pips. Oh, we could have made some money. But guys, learn the importance of the swing. Swing trading is going to make you crazy, crazy money. Now we can see here, our stochastic is at 9. And the RSI here is at 33. Okay, and that's quite low. Okay, and in this region, we can start thinking about, you know, the buy or sell. Now, this is obviously a previous time frame, guys. However, it is very crucial to have a look at what we could have done. Okay, now what we saw is we saw that the market before was on the downward spiral. However, you can see that the RSI and stochastic are very, very low, and we saw a green candle, on the upward spiral. Okay, here up, we could have collected 320 pips on that one trade. Okay, now we had a little retracement. However, we saw this green candle. Now we can see the blue line, the momentum's wanted to start kicking in. Okay, now this is the perfect confirmation. Obviously, we're not going to wait for that long. We would have got in earlier. Okay. However, this would have been a perfect confirmation on the cross to show the momentum's direction. Now, if we got in where we should have got in, which was here, we could be looking at, today we could be looking at 911 pips. Now, guys, 911 pips. And this would have been from around the March, April time. If you held that position, you'd be looking at on 10p, £915. Imagine on 20p, you're looking at 1.8k. Now imagine if you had 0.2 lot size, and you had two positions in. You could be looking at £3,000 in that time period. You can have it. Nice. Remember the mute. Oh, things like that. Phone for me. When did you change the screen? Okay. Yeah. So sorry about that, guys. I had to mute the call. Okay. So let's say we got where the cross was. Okay. You could have still banked 624 pips. Now, you guys know on even a pound to one standard lot, you would be looking at 6k. 0.50, you're looking at 3k. Imagine having that two positions in, locked in like there. So, guys, if you use this strategy, we can, look at some crazy money. Now, let's look at a smaller time frame. Where were we again? Chart. Go back to time frames. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I'm going to get back down to the 4-hour chart. In fact, you know what? Let's leave it as this. Let's leave it as this for now. Time frames, actually, let's go to 4-hour chart. Now, we saw the daily chart. See, the 4 hours giving us different. Now, we have that daily chart. We can see that there was a large retracement. However, that retracement happened in the buyer's market, guys. So even if we're in a buyer's market, we may still get a retracement. So, just because there's a retracement doesn't mean that we're going into a seller's market. We're in a strong buyer's market. We just had a little retracement. Now, the retracements may be good money on the retracement. Like here, let's say you can see that it was a 100 pip retracement on nearly. We're looking at nearly 100 pip retracement. However, on the longer term, we would have been looking at some staggering money. Like I said, you would have sung that up. You're looking at 305 pips, 376 pips. Okay, so I'll say to you guys, always look at the daily chart though, and then we can look into a 4-hour and into the 1 hour. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys another thing we can do is, okay, we can see in the daily, okay, your NZD daily, that we're in a strong uptrend. Okay, very strong uptrend. Even this retracement here, we're still in a strong uptrend. Why? Because the candles are both lines are above both lines. Now here, with the downtrend, well, when this red line took over, here we were even in the buyer's market. Red line took over, we went to seller's market. This cross here, we was in a strong buyer's market. Now this retracement here, the market will probably from here continue to go up. Okay, why? Because we can see a strong momentous movement. Remember, candles above both lines were in a strong buyer's market. You see here, the candles were in between both lines. It was an indication of a strong seller's market. You see a strong indication of a seller's market. The strong seller's market would have been here, guys. Okay, candles beneath both lines, strong seller's market. Okay, strong buyer's market, candles are both lines. Excellent stuff. Okay. Now let's just finish it off with the RSI stochastic. Now let's look for the perfect confirmation we could have got. Okay. Let's use the seller's market as our confirmation. Okay, now here, guys, our RSI stochastic. I'm going to show you guys with the line. You can see here, sorry, make it a bit more accurate. Our stochastic was at 87, well above what we usually used to. RSI was just about touching the 68, touching the 70 mark. You can see there, good indication to start thinking about selling. Okay, you guys can see, look at that, the high point. Now, we are still in the buyer's market, okay, but we could still have sold. But when we had this cross now, which was here, what we saw here was now the momentous movement on the downward spiral. Now, even in this region here, we could have banked a lot of money. But we wanted to wait for that curve down. When we have that curve down, we know that we're now going to start seeing a large sell-off. And from that curve downwards, we would have seen, 1,357 pips, guys. Now, per 777, if you would love to make that sort of money, 1,357 pips. We would love to make that sort of money. Yeah.
Yes, I would. Definitely.
Yeah. Now, like I said, with this sort of pips, you're looking at some stupid money. If you had £1 on 1,357 pips, you're looking at 13k. All right. So we need to use these strategies to make more confirmation. Now, don't worry, this is recorded, and we can practice this strategy. We will be going over this strategy. This is just the introduction to it. I'm going to leave a part for questions and answers before we conclude the session. Any questions? Okay. Wait, let me unmute you guys, sorry.
One minute.
Hello.
Yeah. What it is basically, you're gonna send us this you said you're gonna send something by email.
I'm gonna send the setups of the chart. We are gonna be going over this strategy on many occasions.
Yes, please. Yes, I definitely need it.
This is a beginner strategy. This is a strategy that we make money. Why would it make money? Because I went against the strategy last week and I lost money. So if you use this strategy, there was a young man I was on a call with, and using this strategy would have collected 100 pips in one day. Yeah. You have 3 positions locked in.
Can't really, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna send everyone. What you can do is send me your emails in the chat, and I will send the chart over to you. A young lady is going to be, improving the quality of the documents, and then we'll send that over to you guys. So thank you for coming onto the call, and we'll be in contact. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that was good.
Excellent stuff.